Hey there. So you're looking for a dog trainer here in Telford, Pennsylvania? You're in the right place. We're going to walk through everything you need to know to find the perfect professional for you and your best friend.
Great training isn't just about tricks. It's about getting your dog ready for real life right here in Telford. Imagine taking a calm, easy walk through your neighborhood or having a blast on the Perkemian Trail without any pulling or stress. That's really the goal, isn't it?
All right, so where do you even start? Well, the first thing we need to look at is what makes a professional truly qualified. It really comes down to two things: their philosophy on training and the credentials they have to prove their expertise.
Okay, let's talk about this single most important concept, positive reinforcement. It's pretty simple, really. It's all about rewarding the good behaviors you want to see more of. Not only does this method work, but it's also humane and does wonders for building confidence and strengthening that special bond you have with your dog.
Now, on the flip side, here's what to watch out for. If you hear a trainer talking about using things like harsh corrections, intimidation, or any kind of force, that's a huge red flag. Honestly, those old school methods are just not necessary, and they can actually make problems like fear or aggression even worse.
So, you might see a bunch of letters after a trainer's name, and it can look like alphabet soup, right? But they actually mean something. Things like CPDTKA or KPA-CTP. They tell you that the trainer is committed to professional, humane methods. And if you're tackling something more serious, like deep anxiety or aggression, seeing a credential like IABC-CDBC is a really good sign. It means they have specialized skills in that area. All right, let's move on. Once you have an idea of who to look for, the next piece of the puzzle is figuring out what type of program fits your dog, your goals, and of course, your budget. So let's break down the costs and formats you'll find around Telford. You're mainly going to see two options: group classes and private lessons. Group classes are awesome for a few reasons. They're easier on the wallet, and your dog gets to socialize and practice around other dogs. On the other hand, private lessons give you that one-on-one attention. They can create a totally custom plan just for your dog, which is perfect if you're working on specific issues at home. So what's this actually going to cost? Here's a general idea of the prices you'll see in the Telford area. And it's interesting because we sit in both Montgomery and Bucks counties, so the rates can be a blend of both. As you can see, a 6-week group class is pretty budget-friendly. Then you have options that are a much bigger investment, like a board and train. This should give you a really good starting point for your budget. Here's a great tip. A lot of trainers will offer a free first consultation. Absolutely take them up on that. It's the best way to get a feel for their style and see if you click. Oh, and one more thing. If you're thinking about in-home sessions, just make sure to ask about travel fees so you know the full cost up front. Okay, you've done your homework, you've got a budget, and you've probably got a short list of trainers you're interested in. Now comes the most important part: talking to them. It's time for the interview. So, you're on the phone or meeting with a potential trainer. How do you figure out if they're the one? What are the key questions you need to ask to make the best choice? Don't just wing it. Go into that conversation with a plan. Think of this as your checklist. You'll want to ask about their methods, double-check their credentials, and find out how they measure progress. And definitely get a full cost breakdown. Here's a really good one. Ask if they'll work with your vet, especially for behavioral stuff. It says a lot about how professional they are. All right, let's bring all of this back home. How does this training stuff apply to just living your life with your dog in Telford? It's really helpful to know the local rules and where you can go to practice. This right here is exactly why that loose leash walking we talked about is so important. It's not just a nice skill to have, it's the law. Around here, your dog has to be on a leash and under your control in public. So mastering that is pretty fundamental for just about any outing. And on a state level, this is a big one for health and safety. Pennsylvania law requires every dog to have a current rabies shot from a vet. It's just a non-negotiable part of being a responsible dog owner. And one last bit of local paperwork: licensing. Since Telford straddles 2 counties, you'll need to license your dog with either Montgomery or Bucks County, just depending on your address. This applies to any pup over 3 months old. So, once you start making progress, where can you go to practice? Well, for working on recall in a safe off-leash area, Sutterton Dog Park is perfect. For practicing those leash manners with joggers and bikes around, the Perkemian Trail is your best bet. And if you want a slightly calmer spot to work on just chilling out, Fisher's Park is a fantastic choice. Finding the right trainer really is an investment. It's an investment in a wonderful life with your dog. A well-trained buddy is one who can happily and safely join you for a quiet walk to the park, or even handle a busy day on Main Street. It just makes everything you do together in Telford that much better.